When coming up with the story that led to the creation of my indie trading card game, I was heavily influenced by the tropes, themes, and archetypes that you find in anime and manga. Character designs, abilities, and lore all had their roots in that medium of storytelling because it's one that I hold near and dear to my heart. So when it was time to start coming up with the music for the series, it didn't take much thought to decide what the inspiration would be. Early on, before the Summoner's Nexus TCG was even a thing, I reached out to a musician on Fiverr and I explained the themes, the feelings, and the messages that I wanted the music for my series to convey. I should note that this musician on Fiverr specifically made anime-inspired intros. He asked me to send a reference from an existing anime to use as like the foundational basis for the new song that we would be creating, and so I went through a catalog of all of my favorite songs from anime until I found one that I felt matched sort of the tone that I was aiming for. We sat down together to consider plot-relevant lyrics and the themes that needed to be touched on, and then he got to work. He sent me some drafts where I asked for a few things to be tweaked, and I'm trying to remember, but honestly, I remember loving the song, the anime opening for Summoner's Nexus, from the very first draft that I heard. Now, bear in mind, at this stage, I had barely even finished writing the webtoon. No art had been done, no design notes had been made. Music was literally the first thing that I ever invested into when it came to this project. I used one of the intros for Fire Force as the reference for the song, and it came out exactly the way that I wanted it to. So having done that, and having watched some great series at the time, I think Scissor 7 and Food Wars come to mind, I wanted to try and use music in the way that those shows did. What I wanted to try and capture is the way that the main melody, the main theme for the show, is woven into almost every piece of music that you hear, be it for comedic relief or dramatic moments. It's an adaptation of that core progression that comes up over and over again in those series. A lot of the tracks for different moments in the show reference the main theme, and that helped those moments to feel interconnected in my mind. The music bridged them together, and I wanted to achieve something similar. Since this was originally planned to just be a webtoon, I was going to use the feature in Webtoon that allows you to choose certain tracks that will play when readers reach specific parts of the comic. I got to work finding other artists on Fiverr who I could commission to adapt the original theme into themes that suited various emotions, and within a few months, I had themes for happy moments, sad moments, comedic moments, so on and so forth. Again, all of this was planned for the Summoner's Nexus webtoon, so when the webtoon fell through, I was worried that all of this would go to waste, but luckily I like to make things, and the Summoner's Nexus TCG then became where all of this investment went. It made it so that when I first started working on Summoner's Nexus, the music for the game was basically already done. That being said, not all of the music perfectly translated as a one-to-one. They had been created with a different purpose in mind, and so it was only natural that some of them wouldn't fit perfectly and that there would still be some gaps in the music for the game, since I wanted players to have a lot of variety in the music that they could choose, and so I started looking for affordable but high quality music. My first answer was to use Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Now, as someone who had been streaming for a few years at that point, I was very familiar with Stream Beats. They were basically a godsend to streamers at the time. Harris Heller made a lot of copyright-free songs that you could just stream in the background of whatever you were doing, and they barely so much as asked for credit, right? It was just something to make it a lot easier for content creators to do what they do. It's genuinely an amazing resource that if you are ever planning on making content, you should try to avoid DMCA and takedown notices, and the songs are extremely high quality. So when looking to bridge the gap, I looked there, I went through everything in their catalog and chose a few songs that I thought fit, because I am still an indie creator. There was also the Unity Asset Store, which had music that you could license, and other websites that sold like bundles of cool music. So with our limited budget, I did do a little bit of a shop to get songs that I felt fit with our aesthetic and vibe, and that was how I filled the rest of the gaps that were left over in the game's music. Just like that, over an extended period of time, I had almost accidentally created a holistic picture of sound for my indie game that I just have to hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait for you guys to play the game. Subscribe for updates on development as it continues. Join our Discord community. It's linked below in the description. Leave a like because it helps the video, gain a bit more traction, and have a wonderful day. Bye.